discuss. Okay, as I said, there would be another good 2 minutes time. Sit back. Oh, I see. I got some chat box messages saying that the camera, the lens is actually not working that well. Oh, it's okay. So even not the facial engagement, but there would be a lot of text box annotation. All right. So we should also enjoy, even without showing your face. But for those who are able, that would be perfectly supportive. Knowing that to see about the way how you react, right? Likely I can understand better what kind of things I can address better. Okay, what kind of things that maybe there would be a certain demand for me to have a further elaboration. Okay, Pasin, thanks so much. Okay, thanks for joining your supportive face.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Hong Kong, Singapore time. Now it's actually 1:59. Okay, another 20 seconds to go. All right, so just a very soft running. If you got yourself ready, and then if you can, and then you can switch on your cam to let me know that you already be ready to start this journey. And then we are going to share a lot of different ideas today. Thanks, Shantaba. Okay, thanks for showing your supporting face. Thanks so much. All right. Okay, Joy, can you pull down the screenshots? All right, wonderful. Okay, guys, it's almost the time that we need to kickstart today to respect those who join on time. And thank you so much for those who can turn on your cam, joining me in this learning journey. Because I'm not sure whether you're aware or not that I make a bracket of my name right next to it. I'm not a teacher, I'm not a trainer, I'm a facilitator. Because a lot of you, I assume that you guys already got a very good understanding about learning and development. My job is not just fit in a lot of new information, but try to facilitate a co-creating moment that we can design something makes sense for tomorrow. Okay, so representing PERSOLKELLY Group, PERSOLKELLY Consulting, welcome every one of you to join the 2022 Asia Pac webinar series. It's actually my honor to kickstart this webinar, starting from sharing things related to learning and development, which is in my expertise area. My name is Alvin, the Senior Director of Learning Academy. Today, I think before we start, normally for all those webinars, we got a lot of enrollment, but it takes time for people to join on really on time. Okay, so I think that would be something that I would like to share, upfront, including about the way how we use today's time. We totally got around like 1.5 hours time, but I think the content that I prepare, I try very best not to have it more than 1 hour. Okay, because I do know that I think for a lot of time zone, if you are from Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, China, I think even India is almost approaching to the early afternoon time to have your lunch. And for a lot of you already just finished lunch. So it's not very easy to concentrate for a long time. So the content basically will try limited in 1 hour time. And after that, we are going to have 30 minutes time to have a lot of Q&A question time. Okay. So the first thing that I would like you to imagine that today's webinar is not only for the L&D profession. It's not only for the, let's say, the practitioner, the professional person in the L&D field, no matter in-house or consultant. But I just would like you to imagine that for all the business leader, no matter you are the line manager, no matter you are the boss, the management of the SME, small and medium enterprise, when you engage your staff thinking about talent development, when you engage a vendor to select about the program that you think that it makes sense for your staff, you might need to have a certain idea on how to design the learning and development, talent development program, which well aligned with your business direction and strategy. Okay, so today, my audience, you shouldn't be just thinking that, oh, only L&D people will be valid, but also business leader and also line manager as well. Just want to give this explanation in advance to really let everyone be into the mood, okay? And also take a good 1 minute time to wait for the other audience. Can you just try to type in the chat box? Okay, first, any question in your mind that you really want to know in terms of talent development, learning and development? Any special area that you would like to understand or you want to discuss further regarding to building the future workforce by the means of learning and development? Any current challenge that you are now having, all right? For any other thing, anything, try to type it into the chat box, okay? We are going to have a 1 minute silent moment to let you type it first. And at the same time, I know that now we are getting more and more participation. And then after a minute time, we are going to officially kickstart everything. Okay. Right. So in this minute time, I will not say too much and let you type on the chat box first. The last 30 seconds, try to finish up your perspective, your comment, your question. All right, thank you so much. All right, I got a lot of active participation from the L&D expert and also business leaders. I'm sorry that maybe I put a very big trap to myself to jump into. I completely see that a lot of challenging questions. Things related to ESG, all right, sustainability spaces, things related to data, things also related to, wow, it's actually some very trendy buzzword, great resignation, etc. So I can assume that after the first hour time, we are going to have a very fruitful discussion, probably some challenging moment to me as well, okay? But I love to have this moment to learn together. All right, let's move on. As mentioned earlier on today, we are going to have, the first hour time to talk more about the learning and development. I would say in such a way, the program design. Before everything starts, just would like to have extremely quick introduction of myself. Other than letting you folks knowing that my role, my name, but also, my daily job, okay? In the current time, not because of the, I think it's actually highly also linked with the COVID. So instead of moving around in different places to do training, I'm basically sitting in Hong Kong and then try to have a lot of Zoom webinars, Zoom section, team section with the rest of the world. I think my lucky time is dealing with the clients in Asia Pac. A little bit challenging time would be my clients sometimes have their folks in in Canada, in UK, that's completely would have a 12 hours time gap for some moment. So my domain would be more on leadership and also management. But day in and day out, there will be a lot of the learning and development related design, talent development related consultation that I'm doing with my sincere clients. So that's why today, love to have more discussion with a lot of you. Last but not least, you see that currently I'm doing my doctoral degree. Well, I think that is also related to part of the sustainability umbrella, not exactly on ESG. But if you folks are interested in knowing more about the sustainability, right, there will be the other things related to creating shared value, social innovation. So probably I can tell a little bit more addressing about the question regarding how ESG impact to talent development later. Okay, so not only myself, but today, the first thing that I wish to engage you folks by using the Zoom function is using the annotation functions, all right? The first thing that I love to let you do with me is, see that, right? In the screen, your screen, the top of the screen, you find a green bar showing that Alvin is sharing the deck, okay? The right-hand side, I suppose you see view option. Okay, this button. Click on this view option. There is a scroll down menu. Scroll down menu. All right. And in the scroll down menu, do you find annotate? ANNOTATE. Click on the annotate. And then the annotation bar will pop up. Very first thing that I want you to do is to click on the stem function. You see a little check. Oh, wow, Hassan, very, very great. Okay, Rain as well. So I want you to put some stem on my green. Wow, I got a very, very, very proactive folks. Okay, so you guys can see that, and whatever stem, because later on we are going to use this visual to engage everyone to do some voting, some activity. I can even see some graffiti. Some people are now drawing. All right, guys. But listen to me very carefully. I want to, say that again for those who still take some time. On top of your screen, yes, go ahead to stem. And then on top of the screen, you find a green bar. The right-hand side of that, you find view option. Click on it, scroll down menu, and then annotate. Using the annotate function, okay, you see the stem. That is actually everyone are doing right now. Everyone's doing right now. And I will just give you another 3-second time to let you enjoy this process. I do see that you guys enjoy a lot. All right. Maybe I need to, clean it first. Okay. Because the second thing that I would like you to do. All right. It's almost there. Okay. The second thing I want you to do. Okay, listen to me very carefully. So this time, it's not about the stem function, but the text function. Do you find a big letter T? All right. Click on it. What I want you to type is where you are from. Okay. Okay, a second. Let me clear what you have right now. Type anywhere about where you are from. Okay, I'm so interested in knowing that. Okay, we got people from Seoul, Malaysia. Okay, Kuching. All right, wow, that's very fast. Originally, I want to put it a little bit. Okay, Singapore, Busan, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Thailand. Wow, all over the Asia Pac country. Thank you so much. Let me see better. Okay, Korea and Malaysia. All right, Kuala Lumpur. Okay, we got a lot of people, from Bangkok as well, Thailand as well, Malaysia. Wow, a lot. Thanks so much. That's great. That's great. Because later on, in order to do the interaction, hey, I got a person that I suppose I know who he is from Metaverse. That's wonderful. I mean, you guys should, pay attention here. There's a person from Metaverse. So as myself, I also want to put myself in Metaverse as soon as possible. And also, let's think about how Metaverse also impacts to the L&D in the upcoming times. Okay, wonderful. Okay, annotation function will be something that we are going to use quite a lot in the upcoming time. And the first thing that I want you to understand better is until the Hong Kong, Singapore time, China, Taiwan time, whatever time, right? So until 3, we are going to go through about the following things that you can see right here. We talk a little bit about the current status of our employee. We emerge a bit about the future talent requirement. Think about that. If you got the current situation and we also got about the future standard, what we find, we normally find the gap. So what kind of L&D solution could be suitable for minimizing the gap? Okay, this is actually the logic, right? And one thing I want you to put yourself into that head, no matter you are the L&D professional, practitioner, the head of talent development, or as I mentioned earlier on, if you are a business leader, if you are a line manager, because you are thinking about how to grow your talent, right? So I want you to all put these designer hats. Think about how to design the best talent development program for your staff. Not only feeling about the current demand, but also try minimizing about the future requirement, what we call it as the future proofing. What kind of future proofed talent development program makes sense? And for little remarks, I've been running these, the same topics in one of the university in Hong Kong with a batch of the master degree student, mixing with the bachelor degree student. The reason why I would like to talk about that is because at the time when I do interactivity with you, I will also show 2 months before when the younger generation, they do the same thing, thinking about their future. Some of the very interesting finding, I think that is actually worth sharing with all professionals, all you guys professionals. So that's why later on, I might share some insight from them as well, okay? Here we go. The very first thing as a designer is we need to understand very well, don't design things new for the sake of designing new things. Okay, we don't do that. And in order to address this better, there is a bit not very old, but I guess some of you might view that video before. Very meaningful, quick 3 minutes video telling us about this phrase. Don't design things new for the sake of designing new things. Here we go.
We don't want to just change your phone. We want to make you say, wow, that is a bigger change than I expected. iPhone 5 is a result of that desire to surprise.
It's been completely redesigned. For the first time ever, we've increased the size of the display. By making the screen taller but not wider, you can see more of your content without the need to scroll. We're making scrolling a thing of the past. iPhone 5 is more comfortable to use and reduces scrolling fatigue while reading long documents.
Even with the larger display, iPhone 5 is the thinnest iPhone we've ever built. To achieve a design this tall, we had to look at a complete redesign of the internal architecture. It's 18% thinner and 795% taller than the previous iPhone.
It makes everything you do on iPhone 5 feel easier and just a move of your arm away. No more hidden menus, no confusing gestures. Everything is right at your fingertips.
The panorama feature is simply awesome. The Ultra HD widescreen display lets you get your entire shot in a single snap. You can also use your iPhone 5's innovative design for image stabilization.
With an iPhone this tall, reception has never been better. You'll enjoy crystal clear clarity on even the longest calls. And of course, all your favorite apps are still available. In fact, you'll find your old favorites also benefit from the new experience-enhancing Ultra HD widescreen. We found that while many previous iPhone owners were using FaceTime, they weren't using it for their faces. That's why we're introducing Body Time. Using an iPhone 5's Ultra HD widescreen display, Body Time lets you see a person's entire body, allowing you to detect mannerisms and defects like never before.
We looked way beyond what we saw as expected. It took all of our learning, all of our thinking, to realize something so simple, so clear, and yet so tall.
iPhone 5, the tallest thing to happen to iPhone since iPhone.
Oh my goodness. All right. I viewed this video for more than 20 times, but every single time I viewed it, I still cannot, cry with tears. Luckily, we don't really have this iPhone, or else I think people will feel a little bit annoying when having not the FaceTime with me, but Body Time, because I'm putting up a lot of weight, and I think that my size cannot be all fit into the Body Time. Okay, but put it aside. I think the single things that I want to address by using this casual video is to let everyone recap better about what we mentioned earlier on. Don't design anything new for the sake of designing new things. When we think about future talents, we are very fascinated about, oh, there should be a lot of things. Metaverse maybe partially will become the reality, but we are not only thinking about how fancy it is. Different organizations would have different stage, speed, their acceleration requirement for, let's say, digitalization to adapt in the new working law, different country as well. So I think as a designer, we always think what exactly we want. I mean, truly beneficial to the business and also to the people. All right. So because of that, in November 2021, when I was doing that workshop with that, the university in Hong Kong, those master degree and bachelor degree students, I asked them after the video, so what kind of things that stood out the most to you? And they're using the annotation function as well. Okay, so that's why immediately the younger professional, they are very clever, they're very professional, they're proactive, they roll a lot of things. And finally, I try concluding that, wow, you see that the tremendous amount of the hardship here because they vote, okay, with all those stuff being written down, what is actually making the best sense to you? A lot of them vote on the cost. All right, design something with lower cost, but I would try putting it in such a way it's all about the ROI, the return on investment. Second of all, they also put a lot of things related to depending on the practicality, depending on the actual needs, and also resolving about the existing problem that people are having. All right, so I try to bundle these two type of comment together and put it like relevancy. So not only about the younger professional, they have a clear mind that what they do should yield a very good ROI and also relevancy. But also today, I sincerely request every single one of you as the designer to think what future L&D solution would be relevant and can yield a very good ROI to you. And in order to think in such a way, okay, I think a lot of you has been adopting wonderfully perfect model. A lot of you understand about design thinking, right? We try to find out our target's pain point by means of having a lot of open-end discussion with them, surveying them, try to understand, a lot visionary interview, focus group, etc. But for a lot of time, it is not very easy for us to do in such a way. So that's why, okay, today, what I would like to engage you to think together is to find out the pain point on two particular persona at workplace. It doesn't mean that we just got these two types. It doesn't mean that. But it just means that we don't have enough time to go through every single generation. So we got two different persona. Okay, let me introduce you Jack. Okay, and for the second one, I will tell a little bit later. Because of Jack, this is actually what we are going to do. All right, I will let you know about the instruction first. Involve yourself proactively together with me to think in this empathy map. Okay, what you see right now is what I call it as empathy map. Normally, when we cannot do interview with the particular target, and then we need to adopt it. It's a 22 years old young professional, Generation C, and doing job related to marketing. All right. In this empathy map, what I would like to engage you to annotate using the text function is to think, okay, when talking about learning and development, all right, emergent about that young colleagues, okay, asking him or her, oh, hey, can you tell me more about your expectation, your perspective towards the L&D program? So normally emergent, what they will say, all right? I know that some of you has been very much excited, try to type a lot, but hold your horse. Okay, we are going to type it together. When you ask them to do, right, what they think about L&D, that means a little bit like expectation, what they expect, how they feel, okay? How they feel towards L&D program, how they feel. And genuinely, so what is their learning needs? that is not mutually exclusive. That means when you type about thing, oh, is it thing or is it feels? You don't need to worry too much about that. Just put anywhere making sense to you. It will be okay. All right. So now I want you to use your annotate function again. Allow me to repeat it again. On top of your screen, there is a green bar, right-hand side view option. Click it down. Okay. Annotate. This time we use the annotate text function. A good 2-minute time to draw your soundbite, to imagine together. Again, as we can't interview any 22 years old right now, then we use the empathy map, try to dig out about the ping pong. In a way, when letting them think about L&D, just like a focus group. Put yourself into their shoes. Think about this persona, this 22 years old boy. So normally, what he would think about. Okay, we still get 1 minute and 30 seconds. No worry, just type whatever places, okay? And then I will try my very best to put in the nicer place for you. Okay, even though not complete the word is okay. I think we are smart enough to understand what you type. Wow, I got a lot of smart idea. Okay, the last 1 minute time. And remember, throughout the whole section, you are completely feel free to raise up your hand or just simply off-mute yourself to say anything makes sense to you. Any question that you have, all right? No need to reserve yourself. Last 30 seconds. I suddenly feel that some word is talking to me, like this one. Keep it short. I'm not sure whether it's a genuine Gen Z comment that we got a Gen Z L&D folks here. All right, the last 5 seconds. Try to finish it up. Okay, right. If you still yet finish it, grab this few seconds, huh? Wow, cool. This is a wonderful picture. This is a wonderful picture. Just for your information, in your annotation bar, you got it, right? Annotation bar. The right-hand side, there's a save button. If you think that this one is actually very beautiful for you to design your L&D program further and then do, take some screenshot, save it, and then you can, have it as a references. Wow, I got a lot of wonderful idea right here. I mean, any one of you just be free to off-mute yourself if you want to tell something, okay? But I think now, when thinking about what they need, probably not only about, let me draw it here, not only about their learning needs, but thinking about what they think they need, what they say they need, and what they feel they need, okay? These 3 quadrants, say, think, feel, these 3 quadrants. you can have one single stem only. I just want to do a voting, okay? Vote on the sentences, the comment, okay? Read it through. Vote on a single comment that you think, oh yeah, the younger Gen Z generation, okay? That Jack, 22 years old marketing officer would be the point that we need to address. Would definitely be the point that we need to address, okay? Put a stem on there, okay? I know that it's actually not easy because we got a lot of wonderful comments. Take a good 1 minute time to select the most and then put a stem, no matter what shape. Okay, or some of you already off mute yourself and then you are free to speak anything out if you want. All right, that's very good. Bit by bit, we got a lot of stem. Last 30 seconds. I got something really great. I didn't sign up for this, okay? That's very true. As a corporate trainer, I always ask people why you joined, and they say that I didn't sign up for that. Somebody put me in. That's true. Okay, last 5 seconds. If you really want to put it right now. Okay, all right. Okay, wow, it's actually not very easy to conclude, but I would definitely see some very crucial similarity. Okay, first of all, including this, I guess this one has been having a lot of work, okay, a lot of points. Okay, does it benefit to me? Or put it in another way to ask is why I need it? Why I need it? And just how I'm saying that is actually quite cool. Okay, so I don't think I signed up for that. Okay, so I think the very first thing that I want to address is they don't really want. I think that is actually something I can also see right here from the very first. No, let me go. Oh yeah, it's actually here because my annotation bar have blocked it a little bit. Something like, okay, L&D just like a teaching kind of things. I don't really find it relevant to me. Does it really benefit to me? I need I just need something, okay, at the time when I need. Okay, so you see it, right? It doesn't mean that when I got say sincere in-depth arrangement and then people will appreciate about that, but they really think about, oh, if this doesn't be beneficial to me, that makes no sense for me to join. All right, so we need to understand what they need. Number one. Number two, obviously, very obviously, no boring. Okay, no boring, please. I don't have much time to do. Okay, they need something very quick. They need something very quick. They don't want to have something very much on the formality. Okay, on formality. Wonderful. All right, so even though I make this nice graffiti, dirty right now, but I still want to take a picture here first. Okay, give me a second. Okay, after 1 second time, and I will just clean it. If you want, and then please also try to click on the save button. On the annotation bar. Okay, 1 second. Finish. All right. See it, right? The things that just now through the empathy map, I think two things is very much outstanding to me. Number one, probably they don't want to have formality. All right, so don't make it like teaching. Don't make it too structured. I don't have time for that, honestly. I just want when I want it. I just need when I need it. Don't just overwhelm me to join a lot. Okay, you got it. Second of all, other than without formality, I also see that they basically just can accept a certain type of content, which they claim it as something beneficial to them, that they claim it is something that they need. All right. So I just want to have a provoking question to you. That what are those content they think makes sense for them to listen to? This is something very important. All right. And then to go further, as mentioned earlier on, in November, when I do it with the batch of university students, I think the majority of them, they are the genuine Gen Z. Quite the same thing is, I don't know why they highlight a lot about, they always feel, okay, they always feel boring, okay? They always feel, it's quite interesting, they feel boring, they easily got tired, they feel sleepy, they think that, okay, I think work-life balance, this kind of things is just something not very extreme. But then, you know, why they keep on saying that is bored, feeling sleepy, tired, work-life balance. Okay, so then I try to paint a couple of the young generation for them to voice it out. I listen to them, and I feel making more sense to me that they feel that, right? It doesn't mean that they don't have that learning attitude. But the only things that, you know, today, the information is really overwhelmed. They are tired to receive too many information at one time. Okay, I'm not blaming or I'm not defining whose fault it is, but I just want to say that you see that their watch, their mobile phone, their computer, their tablet, everything is actually ready to receive information. And they are super multitask. They are reacting to a lot of information. Asking them to stay there, just like what you folks doing, sitting in front of computer for 1-2 hours time, come on, no way. Okay, so you see that, right? In order to design something that they genuinely need, I would like to draw a conclusion, which is, so for these 22 years old, our persona, Jack marketing officer, formal training doesn't make sense to them. I think these formality would not be something that they genuinely need. And the way that you provide information should be pretty short and sweet, should be something that they make sense, shouldn't be something with a lot of theory, with a lot of methodology, with a lot of steps, but just at the time when they need to know something, then they need to know something and immediately can put it as a behavioral guideline, okay? I'm digesting what was gonna be better. As a behavioral guideline, they don't need new theory. They need new behavioral guideline, all right? And because of that, now I would like to verify what they mentioned and what you mentioned in the empathy map and try to, you know, bundle it with some research finding, all right? So if you're a genuine Gen Z, if you're a genuine 22 years old, and then wish, you know, you can forgive me, from now I'm going to show you some figure. I'm not sure, that is nothing related to the behavioral guide, but it's about the figure data, all right? So wish you can stay with me for a bit. All right, guys, when we talk about future talents, there will be a terms not only about the research firm, the professional firm, but also for our firm as well. And then we've been spending a lot of time to research about the future workforce. I would say that originally there's a term called slash. That means multiple occupations. From PERSOLKELLY, my group, in 2017 and 2018, we've been spending quite a tremendous amount of research on free agent, okay? Free agent, these words. Free agent and slash would be having a similar meaning, saying that people might not be that loyal in a single occupation. They might want to enjoy multiple occupation. On one hand, I'm an Uber driver. On the other hand, I'm a website designer, but also I'm an entrepreneur, okay? 9 out of 10 of the young folks, they love being called and also love to call themselves as an entrepreneur. Okay, but anyway, I will see that this generation is still valid, okay, but not very pioneer. Because now I think for the corp, we already adopt into T-shaped talent. So the very first thing I would like to say is from slash to T-shape. What is it? T-shaped talent, as what you can see right here in the screenshot, is very explicit, okay? It's very explicit by this letter T. And when we look into T shape, okay, This horizontal area means a very horizontal skill, a broad amount of skill, not out of the professional skill. The vertical side is more on the professional skill. When you hire a marketing officer, definitely marketing expertise, the sound, industrial knowledge will be still required in order to execute the job. But then other than the marketing, okay, let's say accounting, let's say sales, okay, other than the professional in-depth skill, we still require people to have their extension of know-how in some of the other things. It doesn't mean that people need to have double degree, triple degree, but they need to be proactive, curious. They want to know a lot of things, all right? So this is what a corp right now requires. A lot of research find that, professional firms find that T-shaped talent, because they are very curious in a lot of different information. They are curious in understand and try a lot of new things. So we found that they are very motivated by doing a lot of collaboration with others. When you ask folks, okay, hey, I want you to try doing this project, collaborating with the marketing team. Oh, yeah, why not? Okay, they will simply say yes to it. They want a lot of new skill. This is actually the things I want to put you with a reminder. And because of the T-shaped talents, company already adopt a lot of different HR policy. I think one of those, which is not very new, is already very classic, is you can see it from Google. The 2080 rule applying for employee that 20% of the time that is eligible to do something out of the core business. And what we found from Google cases that this 20% time policy definitely help their talent development. The reason of that is when people are putting their 20% to learn something new, something horizontal, something out of their original spectrum, they got a better readiness to pick up new skill. And also they're proactively to acquire something original that 80% doesn't know. After acquiring that knowledge and become beneficial back to the core business. So that's why that 20% is not only for inventing something new, it's also for improving something core. Okay, I got my colleagues, okay? I got my colleagues in Malaysia. My colleagues in Malaysia, he is actually a very big-hearted guy, okay? So he loves about things that can help people. So that's why he went out to study one thing which is completely out of, what we are doing, okay? He did first aid. Okay, he joined St. John Ambulance. He learned how to, rescue a person. And finally, you know what? This is something out of our core business. But one day, suddenly, one of our clients in Malaysia would like us to introduce more about the first aid concept, knowledge inside a workplace. So how we can rescue a person if really touch wood things happen. And after that our colleagues package it to become a new products to sell it to the market. Okay, I got another colleagues. I got a Japanese colleagues. Doing the core job. The core job is completely nothing to do with what she wants to do. The core job is more like sales, but at the same time, she loved to become a holistic coach. So I'm not sure whether you understand about that. Holistic coaching is not only about life coaching, but also health coaching, relationship coaching, finance coaching, bundled together to strive for a well-being, right? So I think it's actually so okay for letting a person to learn whatever things which might not be seems directly impact to the core business. But finally, when there's chance comes back, these 20% will then coming back to the 80. Okay, thinking about the future, the first thing that I would like to let you be aware is about T-shaped talent. Second, not a lot. The second thing would be about digital native. When we talk about future talent, particularly talking about the Generation C, they are claimed to be the digital native. This batch of young folks who are born in 1997 until 2010. This batch of digital native cohort, they are being claimed that a lot of information can be accessible in their fingertip. So whenever they want to do whatever behavior, they definitely check about the internet. For example, in Taiwan, one day when I talk with my colleagues say that, oh yeah, Alvin, because we are doing the Zoom drinks, right? And then immediately she would like to pick a bubble tea. Taiwan bubble tea, so cool. I want to have it right now. Anyway, the first thing that, what I observe she is doing is immediately, just go for the internet, searching, where, she can get it, internet. Second of all, there are a lot of different choices. So the next thing is to see a lot of different comments, because a lot of information is available right now. See the comment, which one is actually better, and then pick the right one. And finally, what she does, and then she immediately download the app, and then through the fingertip, and then to do the purchase, and then the bubble tea is just immediately come to her office without going to that places. What I would like to stress on, information accessibility is too high, which unconsciously shaping people behavior of one thing, which is called easily information and also social inference. Okay, they will easily get into information provided by their peer, and that's why peer inference is actually extremely high. All right, guys, a little bit too much right now, but I want to recap a bit for your better understanding. Just now, when we talk about empathy map, we find that the 22 years old Jack doesn't want to have formality. All right, so better to be, at the time he needs, then he access to that. But second of all, what kind of information makes sense to them? He or she doesn't need to have the theory, data. What he or she want to have is some practice, is some behavioral guideline, as I mentioned earlier on. This is actually how the empathy map taught us. But then the data told us that T-shaped talents assess information at all times when it is required to. And at the same time, peer inference. Oh, some comment from the other would be much better than theory. You see that, right? These two things basically are talking about the same situation, that they don't want formality. They want things just in time. They don't want theory. They want comment. They want practice. Okay, so which these stuff is actually giving you some good idea, okay, on what exactly they need. And here is actually the solution that I would like to share with you. So in order to minimize about the gap, okay, what we need is all about this 7/24 just-in-time learning for the T-shaped talent, because they just want to access the information at the time when they need, not all the time. Okay, so then you see that, right? With it in mind, e-learning, etc., will be something very much popular, generically required today. But what I would like you to be very, very mindful is one thing. Today, the information is really overwhelmed. There will be a lot of information required, available for people, really in a fingertip. Whenever they access the internet, there will be a lot of low, high, different quality of information. So one word become extremely popular in this 5 years time, or even when you do the Google search, when you do about the LinkedIn search, to see about the curation, head of curation officer and executive, you find that nowadays in the job market, there will be a lot of people talking about curation. Again, e-learning is not something new. Curation technology will be something that we need to look into it. What does it mean? The action or the process of selecting, organizing, looking after those items in a collection or exhibition. So that means when we try to craft a journey, when we try to craft a learning journey for younger folks, it should be something with a lot of different modality. When they access those information, not letting them jump into the ocean, but to be curate with high quality, the best journey that they could enjoy. That's why now I would like to spend a very quick time, real quick time, to go through 2 videos with you. Wish that from that quick video, you can grab about their curation technology, the way how they do, and try to type it on the chat box. But first of all, pay attention first. The number 1, LinkedIn, all right? So I just try to, get a lot of open source, making sense of what I'm talking about. And in this short video, you will see they mention how they create, how they curate the best relevant content. Okay, here we go.
Being a learning leader today isn't easy because building skills can be really hard. That's why we built the LinkedIn Learning Hub. to help you future-proof your people and your business. By using AI, the skills of millions of professionals, companies, and jobs posted on LinkedIn become insights. Then it uses those insights to serve content from all your sources. Content that matches your employees' roles and aspirations.
All right, guys, give me a second. I think there's some technical hiccup. But one thing has been quite clearly mentioned, okay? That's already the answer. I will play back a little bit to let you grab. They already mentioned they base on a certain thing to do the curation, okay? Just a moment.
Because building skills can be really hard. That's why we built the LinkedIn Learning Hub to help you future-proof your people and your business. By using AI, the skills of millions of professionals, companies, and jobs posted on LinkedIn become insights. Then it uses those insights to serve content from all your sources. Content that matches your employees' roles and aspirations.
Okay, right, folks? If you are aware about, they base on a certain thing to, use it as a curation parameter, you can type it on the chat box. Let me know whether you can be aware of, what exactly LinkedIn is selling. As I mentioned early on, right? E-learning is not something very new. 7/24 just-in-time learning is something has been there for quite a while. But then when we select the right technology for us, the e-learning content, we need to make sure that the curation parameter would be making sense. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm not sure whether this is actually easy for you to pick from the video. There will be certain thing mentioned by the video, mentioning that LinkedIn Learning is basing on a certain thing. Try to type it on the chat box if you already get the answer. Okay, very good. Let me wait. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. All right, guys, you can also see it from the chat box that people are talking about. They use AI technology to spot on certain thing, which is mentioned by Karen, which is a job post. All right. So when they try to do their AI technology to run in a tremendous amount of data, they're not using something very manual. They're using something like spot on the job ad LinkedIn would have with that amount of criteria, and then they will see that, okay, with this role requirement, sometimes it's about the year of experience, right? When there's a year of experience, title, the level of the position, and then also to bundle it together with the requirement, what is the skill required? What is the particular capability being mentioned? And then bundle together to run the correlation, and finally found that when you are the person who are in this demography, and then they will push you with those curated content. Get it? Things is actually very automated. It's something with big data analytics, as what Pasim mentioned in the chat box right now. All right. So you see that LinkedIn is using basically very powerful the job ad. This is actually one of the idea. All right. Second, okay, now you guys are pretty much on track. We also look into the second vendor to see what kind of curation technology that they are adopting. Let's see.
Being a learning leader today.
Okay, here we go. Flix. When viewing about the video, I do think that there would be some hints and answers already be there. But I think I need to put some more background introduction about this in order to let you have a better sense. This is a very new technology of Flix, which is actually our partner. When they're doing about the e-learning production, unlike LinkedIn Learning, unlike Coursera, unlike some of the other Udemy, right? That you understand very well. The stuff that they're using open sources. All right. So they are capturing about, let's say, the YouTube learning content, the YouTube content. They're capturing some of the other open sources available actually for $0, for 0 penny. But then, okay, maybe people will think that why this company do that? Why this company try to collect a lot of different open sources and provide to us? But then it's actually making a lot of sense after understanding them better. That in today's world, information is really overwhelmed. And I think the stuff is everything can be free, but everything can be overwhelmed that you don't know what is good for you. So that's why I think when we pay for them, the exact amount of money that we are paying for is not paying for the content, but paying for the curation technology. And then what their AI technology is doing is monitoring a lot of the open sources to see about the people comment, the rate, the view rate, etc. To see about what is the most relevant, most viewed open learning content in a particular domain. Say, for example, management. Say, for example, problem solving. Say, for example, for a lot of different skill negotiation, right? And then after having the AI technology to curate it back, and then they will turn it to be a totally manual way to use their learning consultant to do the final screen. The beautiful things for that is for the traditional, the conventional learning, is very nice. When you go to LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, right? You see all the professors, they're telling about the knowledge in a very structured way. But the drawback is the amount of time required to produce the new content is very long, it's very big. But then putting it in our way around, with curation content of open resources by Flix, they are able to manage to have all update in every single week. Not to talk about a program production of a month, but they are curating new content all the times. So you see that, right? Today, what I would like to introduce you is nothing about, oh, e-learning, pay more attention on curation. I think that is actually making more sense. Okay, and you remember not only about the 724, about the just-in-time learning. The other thing is about social learning. All right. Today, when you go to a lot of different e-learning solutions, let's say, for example, what I showed you here, like Nobi, the mobile learning, they also would have a lot of technology try to have a lot of different pieces of learning to bundle with the social media. Say, for example, after you finish one single class, if there's a quote, they will allow you to, forward it out, to put it on your IG, letting people understand that, oh, you are learning something related to design thinking, for example, then to roll out the conversation with you. You know why? The reason of that is people, they don't only listen to the teacher. People, they listen to their peer. I still remember that, huh? When we look into the Gen Z, the digital native, when we do about the empathy map, so I don't like teaching style. It's boring to go to the lesson. What I don't want theory. I want practical behavioral guidelines. I want how the other people do that. So that's why they listen to their friends. They're not listening to me. Okay, it's actually something not very good for me, but they listen to their friends more. Social learning is when, let's say, Nobi requiring people to post a picture out, they incur the natural dialogues within the peer group, within that social media, within that social network. You got the meaning of that. So that's why people start commenting about that, and then they roll out a lot of new practices sharing. This is actually work for the younger generation. And for a lot of us, we might think that, hey, Alvin, you are trying to let us know that there are a lot of technology that we need to use. But then we don't have money. We don't have money. Then I think your today your webinar doesn't really make sense to me. Then allow me to spend another few minutes time to let you know something that might not cost you any money if you are using certain collaboration app. For my company, PERSOLKELLY Group, we are using the MS Teams. All right. And what we are doing is, okay, we provide recruitment training for our recruiter because we're a recruitment company. We got, around like 1,500 plus recruiter all over the Asia Pac country. And we roll out the recruitment training for them, interviewing skill, whatever the process skill for them. And after that, what we normally do is to set up a forum to let them share about the experience. A lot of people they don't believe that works. But let me let you know how does it work. One day, okay, one day after the training, right? Okay, sorry, one day after the training, I feel a little bit maybe I want to recap a little bit about this afternoon training for them. So in Hong Kong time, 11 p.m. I start, rolling out that, okay, saying that if some candidate, right, okay, just read it through, even though it's actually not very, very confidential. After the candidate interview, right, as a recruiter, we need to give feedback. But seems that, okay, some of the higher level candidates, they are with very high pride. So even though we need to consult with their interviewing skill, but it's actually not very easy. So I want people to, advise on that. You see that? Immediately, I got colleagues in Malaysia, okay, immediately reply in 11:02 p.m. And then I got another Indonesia colleagues immediately reply, what is the practice of her. And so as, in 12:05, I still got some colleagues in Hong Kong replying the way how they do. And finally, you see that in 2:28 a.m. Oh no, it's India time. So that means it's going back to, my time zone, it's around like 12 a.m. at that time. Still we got some people responding to that. In that another morning time, I got a Singapore colleagues, and then I got a Japanese colleagues, and now they keep on talking about that. You see, somehow people, they like listening to the other people's practice. Social learning make more sense. As a conclusion, okay, just in time learning probably is not something very new to you, e-learning content. But today, I want you to pay more attention about the curation technology when you select the best learning tech for you. And then social learning makes sense. So if you are adopting let's say the learning management system, and so as for the other system, think how to create the dialogues naturally for the younger people to capture the practices from the others. Okay. All right, so now it's already 3. Originally, as I mentioned, I got 2 persona. One is about the younger folks. The other one is actually a more senior lady, okay, working for the other. Okay, so in order to let you have a quick go through about the whole content, and then we dive into the Q&A, right? So allow me to do one single thing, okay, which is just showing, the flow to you folks, and then we can have more discussion, later on. But before that, okay, just still want to have a check-in. If you guys got any question in your mind, do put it in the chat box or just raise it. If you are okay for me to go ahead, can you give me a like button, letting me know that, oh, it's actually good enough to go. The reaction button is actually on the bottom of your on the Zoom. And then, yeah, wish you can, give me a like button, letting me know that, okay, it's actually good enough to go ahead. Whatever reaction that you like, that would be good. Okay, thank you. All right, I also got some in the chat box. That's wonderful. Okay, guys. The other one that, I would like to discuss a little bit, okay, to share about is another persona. These personas certainly need to be very specific. So it's nothing about the particular age. It's only for empathy map we are going to do that. 52 years old Selena, Senior Director for the Supply Chain Management. You see about these say, things, feel, learning this. As I mentioned, probably we don't spend time in doing the same processes, but just tell you quickly. I've been spending another time with another firm discussing how to design a program for their more senior folks. Actually, it's exactly from supply chain company. And I got a certain data from them, not to show you about their empathy map, but finally, I think for the senior executive in the supply chain management company, they normally will just say something repeatedly. They always will say that I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. And the other thing is, I don't need training, I don't need training, I don't need training, I don't need training, I don't need training. Provide it to my staff, provide to my staff, to my staff, to my staff, to my staff, to my staff. Not me, not me, not me, not me. Then we try to prompt a little bit. No matter how experienced and how professional you are, probably there will be some new technology that you need to, grasp, right? Blockchain. Today everyone talk about the NTF. Okay, no, the NFT, and so as a lot of different things related to the technology, right? So you guys are going to do the DX digital transformation, right? When I ask about that, the sound bite that I draw is, we are yet to be there, we are yet to be there, we are yet to be there, we are yet to be there. We are not ready, we are not ready, we are not ready, and we are not ready. Okay, so when seeing about this, the genuine feeling out there is how to let this batch of more senior executive to be engaging, to do something new. All right, here would be some of the findings I want to advocate further. Future of work. When we look in the future of work, in our previous research Asia Pac PERSOLKELLY group finding, that would be some of the buzzword moving on in 2030. And so as when we look into some of the data by PwC, saying that 45% of the job, okay, will be replaced through the automation. Okay. Originally, 45 of these activity is currently carried out by human, but then 45 of them will be replaced. So as not only about the information from PwC, also McKinsey would have a quite encouraging insight. Having said that, 45% of the job will be replaced by automation, but only 5% of the job can completely done by the automation. That means a lot of work step is going to be replaced by automation, but not 100%, only 5% of those. So here you see that no matter you like or not, no matter you feel yourself ready or not, here is the things that we need to adapt to new things, helping our more senior executive type of talents to adapt to the new idea. And what can we do under this situation, helping them? All right, so I just go deep dive into some of the possible solutions to let you have a feel. So now I do realize that we already got a total 1 hour time. So now I just want to play some video for you to see. Sit back, enjoy the video, but at the same time have a feel. How could it be helpful to your organization? All right, so here we go. Solution that we are thinking is all about how to provide them an experience. Feel about that. Does it help a little bit older generation to adopt into or move them out from the comfort zone? one of the company, they're providing experiential learning. I think one of the stories sharing by them is actually quite touching to myself. When saying about, okay, the senior executive, they might not be that willing to adapt a new behavior, but they provide training for them. And these executive is from a banking industry. Our immediate thought is, okay, this person may be a little bit reserved. But then these provider, they're providing some team building, experiential learning using drone. Okay, that you see it from the video. One thing that after the training, that senior executive actually age approaching to 60s, go to the company, the vendor, okay, and tell them that, okay, holding up the drone and say only one single thing is, probably I can buy this drone to my grandkid. Okay, so immediately you see that, right? After touching it, after feeling it, people are more ready to step out from their comfort zone. If you don't do anything and just collect about their so-called TNA, their training needs analysis, the training needs requirement, you'll never be able to get anything positive. But if you step out, think out of the box, let them experience, I think things gonna be better. And the other cases, okay, not only about the TED experiential learning, truly, we are providing this kind of the blockchain related experiential learning, and how you can teach blockchain in an interactive way. Okay, so here is actually one of the showcase happening in our Hong Kong office, okay, which can give you some sense about that. Have a feel. All right, guys, we should understand that, just now, the solution provider just would like to give you a sense that even for something, okay, for myself, before having this partner, okay, together we work on this blockchain education. Before I receive this education, honestly speaking, blockchain for me is only Bitcoin. I don't know much about how blockchain can disrupt the industry, no matter that it's a recruitment industry, logistic industry. I think that is an alien language. But then after having it, if you see about the video, right, we put it in a board game, just like a Monopoly, and then try to let people play for it. And then finally, this alien language will be so understandable through the experience. Okay, right? So now I think the conclusion out there is how we can apply a certain thing which is really relevant and also provide an ROI, to the folks. And again, today, I think here is actually quite a number of different, a big volume, a big chunk of information. But I think in a very quick conclusions, we select two persona. One persona is actually the younger Gen Z, executive, the marketing executive. The things that we want to let you know that for the younger generation, the future of talent perspective, what they want is something very just in time. What they want will be something like socially embracing the dialogues-based a way of learning. And when you design about your L&D solution for them, think what creation technology makes sense. And second of all, how to create that social dialogues. But then for our senior executive, it seems not very easy for them to step out from the comfort zone. But only experiential learning, I would say, let them experience it. Then finally, it's easier for them to go ahead with a lot of new trial. Okay, so today originally I still would think about, oh, would there be anything that you guys might think about the AI automation can also be applicable to the L&D field. But in order not to overwhelm and leave enough time, I would like to end one-way sharing right here. So again, one thing giving an echo to, and do you still remember that iPhone video? Don't design things new for the sake of designing new things. And finally, recheck again and again whether the relevancy is towards that target group or not. And also, ROI can be achieved when you carefully adapt to the new technology. Okay, right. I think what I prepared is almost there, but I completely can see that you guys are having quite a number of questions beforehand. So Joy, can you put up the slide? Okay. Oh, I think that would be quite a number. But I just want to have a quick check-in to those who will be able to ask question. If you want to ask question verbally, be free to just raise your hand. Click the raise hand button in the reaction button side, and then I will immediately call you out, and then you can directly speak out your question. All right. So before we deep dive to the question that you can see from the screen, any one of you would like to ask question directly, leave a good 10 seconds, okay, to let you get yourself ready to see if you have any. Okay, at the time when we are waiting for some question, if you want, okay, so now you can see that there are a few questions that we got. And I think the way how we try to drive this section is again to use the annotation bar, okay, and also have the stem function. You can have two stem, okay, to put on those questions that you would like to have a discussion together. All right. So if you can, and then at that time and this time, when we are waiting to see if anyone would like to, verbally ask a question, try to put a stem on the question that you feel, oh, you are also interested in. Probably we got 2 pages of questions, so we will try handle this first page first. All right. So remember, you only got 2 votes. The way how we annotate, let me repeat it again. In the top the screen, you will have an annotation. You will have a green bar. Right hand side view options. Click it down. Okay, and then you will see the annotate this word. Have it out, and later on you are going to listen. You are going to have the annotation bar, and then to click on the stem function to choose 2. Okay, only 2. The question that make more sense to you, and I will try to give some opinion on that. Right, a lot of questions which make a lot of sense. All right. I think at the same time, we also still have some new question putting on the chat box, not only about the question that we got it during the time of the presentation. All right. So the last 10-second time, read through all the question, and I will see to pick 1 to 2 questions to give my answer on it. Okay, make sure that you just got 2 votes. Okay, let me see. Right. So I think the question that I got, I need to respect about with a lot of deliberate mind. Okay, we got a lot of vote here. And so as we also have things touch with, wow, this is a real big question. as I said earlier on, probably I'm putting myself in a difficult situation to ask in such an open way. All right, guys, thank you so much. Joy, we still got another pages, right? Okay, so let's we will focus on this page first. Okay, the first page. Yep, thank you. Let me address about the first question. The first question is pretty much on how to retain our talents by using L&D approach. Very good question. Well, just let me have a check. Normally, it's actually not very easy to have it done in a webinar setting, but I always want to bounce back the question to see, because I do see that there will be a lot of professional people right here. If you guys would have any thought about these questions, how to retain talents by using L&D approach, be free to raise your hand, off mute yourself at any time when I'm speaking. Okay, so not only myself, and then we can have better mutual sharing. Okay. If I'm allowed to move forward to this question, L&D approach, I will just make the whole question quickly into two different perspectives. Number one, things related to what we mentioned just now. Number two, things we need to have a better and broader sense to think about L&D and talent management, actually. The first thing I want to address is, okay, whenever you are providing relevant L&D solution to your people, to your talent, and the talent really, because of the L&D content, to be able to transform their behavior, what will be the expected sequencing? The expected consequence, not sequence, the expected consequence is better result, better performance. All right. So in order to retain people, the very first thing that we need to make sure is the person will be able to perform himself or herself to get the amount of reward he or she deserves to get. And what L&D can do is to provide them these facilitator, this input in order to let them perform. And the important keywords out there is all about relevance, relevance, relevance. So don't design your iPhone like that, but do think about what curation technology makes sense. What social learning, what social dialogues that can be created? What experiential learning can put people getting a better step out from the comfort zone? Once they got essential behavioral change, which impact to the business outcome, they love to stay here because of the L&D approach. But of course, you guys know that it's only part of those, right? Okay, this is actually one of the angle of thinking about this, relevancy. Second of all, the way of considering the overall L&D, okay? So Joy, can you pull down the screen? I think people has been knowing quite well. Yeah, put it down. Even the annotation will be gone, it's okay. The second approach to think about how to retain talent through L&D is going back to the okay, some of the idea that is not very new but always true is, okay, going back to Professor Dave Ulrich. Dave Ulrich in 1990s to 2000, a tremendous amount of research work talking about talents. And in his theory, talents equal to three things, including competence, commitment, contribution. Joy, if you don't mind, please type it on the chat box for me. So talent equal to competence times commitment times contribution. What does it actually mean? A lot of L&D professionals has been spending their tremendous amount of effort thinking how to increase people competence. And of course, first of all, we need to have it identified it well. That's why we got a lot of different modality. The ILT, that means the instructor-led training, e-learning, VILT, virtual instructor-led training. Just how I mentioned about social learning, whatever is fine. It's all for creating a platform for people increasing their competence. All right, but think about that. A person who is competent doesn't mean that with good performance. That person, that competent person, need to be committed to perform. in order to have performance, right? And what L&D can play in this role in the traditional thought is, okay, this is not what L&D can do. This is more on the talent management side. For example, how people can commit better, reward scheme, benefit scheme, commission scheme, a lot of different things that, you know, related to promotion, etc. That led people to be further commit on their current role, excel the competency that they have. But L&D play a role on giving a spotlight in what I call it as the nomination-based talent management, talent development program. For example, hypo program, management trainee program, elite mentorship program. This is not called L&D learning. It's more on talent development program. When you do selection carefully, this nomination-based program is exactly putting a spotlight on the picked talent, telling them that company is going to invest on you. All right. So when they feel that, oh, I'm under the spotlight and I'm being picked as one of the talent, the future star, right? They will commit further. So L&D cannot play the role replacing what talent management on the commission scheme. But then if we play a very mindful role on the way of nomination and selection of participants, is always a motivator for people to have further commitment. Finally, the other thing is about contribution. Contribution can only be something, I think contribution is something very powerful. Imagine that if your talent only competence and they are committed to perform, what they are quoted as individual contributor. They don't have engagement with the organization. They only have engagement with their job related pay, not themselves, but actually the pay. So that's why they can get the same things out from the other firm. They will easily move to the other competitor. So that's why not only about competency and also the commitment, but we need to think how we can engage them to contribute each other when they are sticky enough to build that engaging team. The whole company will become better because people tend to stay and contribute. And what L&D can do, I want to give my quick answer. But Joy, can you pull up the slide just now? Because I think that contribution stuff would be related to the second question that got most of the vote, which is the last question. All right. So the last question. Okay, let me highlight it. Yeah, I think I forgot actually the last question, but it's actually giving an echo. When we talk about, I think here, you know what is being mentioned is about the great resignation. Great resignation is actually the term being used quite a lot in America, particularly in these few years under pandemic. It's a general situation describing that a lot of American, by research, 90% plus have a thought of changing job within a year time. The reason of that is only two things. Number one, because of the experience of working from home, they just found that, oh, it's really something that I've been working for a few decades, and then that extremely hardworking, but not really enjoying about the life. But when I put myself at home, when I experience again, re-examine again about the way of living, then I suddenly found that, is it that worth for me to go ahead in such a way? And as a matter of fact, that when I got chance to work from home, I will have a bigger reluctancy to go back to workplace. So they tend to explore either company can offer the same flexibility in the post-pandemic time, offering them the same flexibility, or they might think that to kickstart their own business, to do something online, to do something remote, doesn't really necessarily attach themselves into a physical workspace. That's why there is a trend called the great resignation. And I think this question is making a lot of sense because the sense is on this. Before, I assume today people who join this webinar is in Asia Pac. We are all talking about this trend is now in the West. We are not sure whether it comes or not. We can only prepare if it comes. So what we do. So I think this question is provided by extremely wise person, saying that before the great resignation, what we can do. And going back to just now when I talk about Dave Ulrich, talking about that 3C, the final C about contribution. All right, Joy, can you pull down the slide? The way how we can create people to have a better attachment with the organization and team is to create them with a culture, to have a culture. Think about that. We always say that if a company would have culture, when you go into their workplace, it's easily seen. What their behavior, the way how they say, the way how they think, and then you completely can see a pattern. When people ask me what is the meaning of culture, culture means collective behavior. If you can build them with collective behavior, they work as the same identity, their attachment will become more sticky, right? The stuff that we finally cannot, normally agree a lot is when a company, they got a lot of extremely high performer, but they don't like to help the others. They got very good competence. They are so committed because of the money that they can get from the reward scheme. And finally, when there's actually anything, they are not willing to help. They are not taking extra mile. The reason is because they don't have identity. I'm not belonging here. I'm just belonging here for getting paid. But I'm not belonging here for helping. Taking extra mile. What exactly can help in building contribution to each other's? Then I would say when people are asking how L&D can help, go back to fundamental. Are we doing enough VMV training? Vision, mission, value. All right. Representing about the PERSOLKELLY group, I think I also can address a little bit on PERSOLKELLY, our core value. We got quite a few. We got 5 totally. We got innovative, we got authenticity, we got professionalism, we got teamwork, we got customer focus. Nothing about individually get as much as you can, as greedy as you can to get commission. Nothing about that. It's all about the guiding principle that we want people at one time to perform as much they can. But on the other hand, try to innovate yourself. Try to be authentic to inside and outside stakeholder. Try to be professional to improve yourself all the time. Try to work as a team and try to be customer first. Exceed their expectations. So you see that, right? When we can have this collective behavior, we become more sticky because we share the same identity. And finally, at PERSOLKELLY Group, we got a brand promise called work and smile. Oh, I need to make it more explicit. It's work, comma, and smile. It's real quick, 10 seconds. Don't work simultaneously and smile. It's a bit weird. But we work, a lot of hard work, but after a lot of challenge, a lot of hard work. But after that, with the team, we look back and see, we feel fulfilled, we feel enriched, we feel content. That's why we smile. So work, comma, and smile. This is something that we always embrace about it. So as L&D, don't just focus only on competency-based training. Don't think only about how to enroll people, putting a spotlight on them, letting them feel prestige. I'm under the spotlight, but also think, what kind of culture through the L&D mean can be achieved. Okay, here's actually my 2 cents. Okay, guys, originally I want to entertain also about the second page of the inquiry, the question, but I'm so sorry that I got my occupational disease to speak a lot. I know about that. Thank you so much for joining me in this 1.5 hours journey. And we already, come up to the official end time. Last but not least, I think representing about the group, I just wanted to say about 2 things. Really, thanks so much for your joining all over the different countries in Asia Pacific, joining PERSOLKELLY Group and joining PERSOLKELLY Consulting, this 2022 Asia Pac seminar. Moving on, we are going to provide lots more different webinar, sometimes not only from our internal consultant like myself, but we are engaging with the renowned university professor to provide a lot of insight with you folks. So do stay tuned with us and then receive lots more webinar information. Before you go, we are going to pull up a QR code and also send a QR code link into the chat box for you to give me more sincere comment. Let us improve ourselves. I wish to see you guys very soon. Remember, work and smile. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys again. Thank you.